Did you ever find out who did it?
Yeah, I knew who did it shortly after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are now where?
Oh, the guy who actually shot me is dead.
And I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay. When you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories? Have you ever perceived yourself as being, I know you must perceive yourself as being different, but have you ever perceived yourself as being weird in any way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I understand everything's relative, not weird to me. But.
Yeah.
I'm unapologetic and I'm unwavering about it. Because when I see this woman, Oprah Winfrey, how do you as a black woman watch another black woman be thrown under the bus based off of a lie?
She was able to say what she said, and then I had my rebuttal. And when I saw the final show, her comments were in there.
50 Cent just sent a shocking warning straight to Oprah, and Hollywood is shaking. From old beef to new accusations, the tension between them has officially reached a whole new level. And 50 is hinting that Oprah might be the next one exposed. But is he calling out the truth or stirring a pot nobody else wants to touch? Stay tuned until the very end, because this goes way deeper than anyone expected.
The time comes when you have that type of situation take place or happen to you and you don't have an answer, you go to the concept of your higher power. And you say there's a plan for you, and if you believe in it, like, I used to have issues with the plane when they get ready to take off.
Monique, why is she canceled? And then I know Tyler wouldn't support that. He never told nobody not to work with her. When I talked to him, he was like, nah, I never told no one not to work.
One point in the evening, I bumped into Gayle King, Oprah's best friend. Now, Gayle is a real deal, a very sophisticated, secure, and smart lady. She's never afraid of a situation, as she showed with her R. Kelly interview. So she marched right up to me and basically said, why are you talking about my girl?
Oprah Winfrey close friend Jerry Harris, star of Oprah Netflix show Cheer, has been sentenced to 12 years in prison for raping underage children.
This picture looks so sad to me. She's Rita or a singer. This photo looks like Oprah is literally serving this girl up to Harvey. Dara looks so frightened. Looks like she's afraid of that man.
Talk about what's happening with Harvey Weinstein. I know you posted on Facebook already, but you haven't kind of spoken yet publicly about what's going on.
I think that this is, I'm always trying to look for the rainbow in the cloud, whatever is the silver lining. And this is what I do know for sure. when something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment.
50 Cent just sent a major warning straight to Oprah, and the internet is losing its mind. According to him, Oprah might be the next one in line to get exposed, and he's not being subtle about it at all. As 50 keeps calling out big Hollywood names, people are shocked he's now aiming at one of the most powerful women in the entertainment world. So of course the big question is, what pushed him to send this warning? And why does he seem so sure that Oprah is in real danger of being exposed?
They didn't use the word abuse. They implied that something inappropriate was going on. Hearing that, John Samuel, immediately after hearing that allegation, removed the accused, Tommy Motola, from the campus.
See, back in the day, when they had us in chains, they would beat one real good.
Right. But in front of the others.
In front of the others, and they let everybody know what you don't want is that type of ass whooping.
Right.
So what they said was, we're gonna beat Monique really good. We're gonna sit her down.
From the way 50 is talking, it sounds like he believes there are Hollywood connections, hidden alliances, and behind-the-scenes deals that Oprah doesn't want the world to know about. Some folks think this could spark a massive industry shakeup, while others think 50 is tapping into something Hollywood wishes would stay buried. Either way, the energy around this is intense. Social media is already on fire, with fans split down the middle. Some are saying 50 Cent is risking everything by taking on Oprah, while others believe he's the only one bold enough to say what everyone else is whispering behind the scenes. Is this the beginning of Hollywood's biggest unraveling? Or is this just the calm before something even bigger hits the fan? Either way, the timing, the tension, and the way 50 is moving all point to something explosive brewing. Stay locked in with us because we're uncovering every detail behind 50's warning and what it could mean for Oprah's legacy. This story is getting messier by the minute. Now here's where it gets really crazy. 50 Cent jumped into the conversation and started exposing Oprah Winfrey, claiming she's even worse than Diddy. Yes, you heard that right, worse than Diddy. According to him, Oprah has been sabotaging the careers of black actors in Hollywood just to protect her spot at the top. And honestly, that accusation alone shook the internet. But things got even wilder when people brought up her all-girls school in Africa. For years, rumors have circulated about girls allegedly going missing after reporting maltreatment, and even stories about human remains being found on the premises. Whether these claims are exaggerated or real, the fact that they exist at all is enough to make people question everything. Now everyone wants to know what's true and what's rumor, and why Oprah's name keeps popping up in conversations about shady behind-the-scenes Hollywood behavior. And let's be real, anyone who hasn't been living under a rock already knows Oprah and 50 Cent have a long, messy history. This isn't new beef. This is seasoned beef. Oprah allegedly tried to damage his career from day one. When 50 was starting to blow up, he actually wanted to sit down with her to reshape his public image and show he wasn't just some ex-dealer of harmful substances from Jamaica, Queens, but a legitimate, successful artist and businessman. But when the idea was brought to Oprah, she supposedly shut it down instantly. She didn't like his personality, she didn't like his music, and she didn't like the energy he brought. And of course, knowing 50, he didn't let that slide quietly.
With me, it depends on who it is. Like, if I knock down like Oprah Winfrey,
Right.
she can do whatever she wants.
She gonna give you that bag.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, Oprah can do whatever she wants.
yeah.
And she ain't even gotta lie. Like, she could be leaving the house, and I just be like, do you need me to pick you up? Or, you know what I'm saying?
And of course, in true 50 Cent fashion, he wasn't about to let Oprah's rejection go quietly. He fired right back and accused her of catering to an older white audience, basically saying she didn't represent the culture the way she claimed. He compared her to an Oreo, black on the outside, white on the inside, which stirred up major backlash at the time.
Once upon a time, you didn't like Oprah.
Right.
And I recently saw you on Oprah special, so how are y'all getting along and have y'all spoke after this?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't have anything against Oprah.
You just called her a
I'm gonna tell you why.
You named your dog Oprah, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. No. Every time she made a mention to hip-hop culture, it was something that was wrong with it. And it was my CD that was the largest debut in hip-hop album. Looking at it and you saying that everything that's wrong with our culture is why I'm a success. When I actually got a chance to talk to her, she was like, I never thought about it like that. She's not where she's at by accident.
In one of the audio clips from back then, he said, I think she caters to older white women. Oprah's audience is my audience's parents. So I could care less about Oprah or her show. She was completely against everything in my music, so she was never going to have me on. I'm never going to reach that platform, which just confirms you're a huge success. Then he added, if we can't be friends, then let's be enemies. I'm actually better off having friction with her. Honestly, classic 50 behavior. He turns every slight into a full-on rivalry and somehow makes it entertaining every time. However, the interview did eventually happen, but apparently not because Oprah had a sudden change of heart. Word around the industry is that big Hollywood executives pressured her to sit down with 50 because he was one of the biggest artists on the planet at the time. Having him on her show meant huge ratings, and those ratings mattered more than her personal dislike. The vibe of the interview even felt a little forced, more business than genuine interest.
The time comes when you have that type of situation take place or happen to you and you don't have an answer, you go to the concept of your higher power. And you say there's a plan for you, and if you believe in it, like I used to have issues with the plane when you get ready to take off. I only do it one time. I don't either pray or worry. Don't do both.
Either pray or worry.
Or worry. Don't do both. Like if you're gonna sit there and
that's really good.
Say a prayer and then worry about it. Now, how does God feel about you? He knows you sitting there worrying. Like,
that's good.
But 50 wasn't the only one calling Oprah out. Ludacris entered the chat with his own story, and it was messy. He appeared on Oprah's show to promote Crash, along with the rest of the cast. This was supposed to be a huge moment for him, promoting an Oscar-winning film on one of the biggest platforms in the world. But instead of talking about the movie, Oprah zeroed in on his use of the N-word in his music. She barely mentioned the film at all. It was clear she had a completely different agenda, and Ludacris was not feeling it.
Have you made it to Oprah yet?
Have I made it to Oprah? I've been on Oprah a long time ago.
Okay, so,
I haven't made it back, but I was on there one time. I'll tell you.
How did it go?
You know what? We talking about the first time I was on?
The first time you
didn't see it?
No, I missed this.
You didn't hear about it?
Is this the one about the N-word?
No,
this is about the movie. I do remember. Yeah. She cut you off.
Right.
She edited out what you had to say.
Pretty much.
Okay.
That's what it came down to. That was the only time I was on Oprah.
Okay, and then
now, whether we get invited back or not.
Did you call her and say, why didn't you edit me, Oprah?
No, I didn't. But we've pretty much made up since then, man. Like I've talked to her over the phone. And everything's cool. Okay. I would like to get invited back though.
Okay.
And just when you think it can't get any messier, it gets messier. Ludacris later revealed that Oprah edited the interview in a way that made him look ignorant and defenseless. She kept every part of her criticism, but removed the sections where he pushed back and explained himself. So the final edit made him look like he just sat there quietly and accepted everything she threw at him. He said it felt like she used him to reinforce stereotypes for her mostly white audience. And honestly, that's a heavy accusation.
When is our show gonna be live? That's the question.
Live.
Without being, edited.
Right.
I want to go on Oprah live.
What was it that she edited out? Just for those who listening, trying to figure out what was it.
It was a lot of. It was certain comments that she had made about. I was there for Crash for the movie.
Yeah.
And basically, she said something about not agreeing with my music, but she thought I did great in the movie. And of course, I was up there with the whole cast of Crash, and so I didn't necessarily feel like that needed to be said. You didn't agree with my music. And even if you don't agree with certain songs I made, say you don't agree with certain songs, don't say you just don't agree with all of my music.
Right.
The whole situation opened a big conversation about who Oprah chooses to challenge and who she chooses to protect, and whether her platform has hurt more black entertainers than it's helped. And 50 Cent, he made sure that none of this stayed buried. And then there was Dave Chappelle. Oprah allegedly tried to set him up too. This happened right after he famously walked away from that $50 million Comedy Central deal. At the time, the deal was so problematic that the rumor mill claimed certain industry people wanted him gone for refusing it. That's why he reportedly fled to South Africa to lie low, stay safe, and protect his peace. But when he finally told his side of the story on Oprah's show, the whole situation took a strange turn.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay. When you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see it before. Look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through, and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying."
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah.
Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
Whenever Dave tried to explain what really happened, Oprah kept interrupting him and pushing him to admit to things that didn't even line up with his actual experience. She kept hinting that he was paranoid, as if his reactions were exaggerated or irrational. During the interview, Dave tried to explain that paranoia is something many black men naturally carry because they're always looking over their shoulder, especially when the world knows that you're suddenly worth millions. He also explained that having that much money instantly made him a target, and that's why he felt he needed to protect himself. Instead of hearing him out, Oprah pushed even harder and pressed him about checking into a psychiatric hospital in South Africa. Dave explained that people there tried to put him on powerful medication that he refused because he felt they were trying to control him or discredit him. He admitted that he was scared, not because he was mentally unstable, because he didn't know who he could trust at that point. Oprah tried to brush off everything he said by framing it as simple stress, but the tension in the room was obvious. Dave looked like someone trying to tell the truth, and Oprah looked like she was trying to guide the conversation towards a narrative she already believed. But Oprah's drama didn't stop there, because the next wave of chaos involved Taraji P. Henson and Monique, and their stories were eerily similar. When Taraji had her fallout with Oprah, people online immediately connected the dots and said, this is exactly what happened to Monique.
I'm unapologetic and I'm unwavering about it. Because when I see this woman, Oprah Winfrey, how do you as a black woman watch another black woman be thrown under the bus based off of a lie? What I won't do is be quiet. I won't go away. I won't back down.
And so when she was offered an unfair deal by Netflix, she decided to push back.
The offers just didn't make sense. If we continue to accept these low offers, however do we make it different and make a change? I've got to speak up and speak out. And I've got to say it's blatantly unfair.
What was unfair about it?
She was offered $500,000 to do a Netflix special, a comedy special. The problem is that other comedians, like the Amy Schumers of the world, is that like she's getting offered like $10, $11 million.
Like $500,000 is still a lot of money, but then when you find out it's $500,000 versus $11 million.
In 2023, Taraji shocked everyone when she revealed Oprah severely underpaid her for The Color Purple. Then she went on CBS Mornings with Oprah's best friend, Gayle King, where she opened up about wanting to quit acting altogether because of how drained and undervalued she felt.
Then one night I was at a fundraiser in New York City for the NYRP, a nonprofit founded by Bette Midler. At one point in the evening, I bumped into Gayle King, Oprah's best friend. Now, Gayle is a real deal, a very sophisticated, secure, and smart lady. She's never afraid of a situation, as she showed with her R. Kelly interview. So she marched right up to me and basically said, "Why are you talking about my girl?" I had to explain to Gayle that I didn't have a true beef with Oprah. "Listen, I'd love to be Oprah's friend," I continued. "But if we can't be friends, can we at least be enemies?" When I said that, I saw Gayle arch her eyebrows and look at me a bit different. It registered to her there was a method to what I was doing. "Okay, you're different than I thought," Gayle told me. "I'm going to tell Oprah she needs to meet you. You two need to talk." True to her word, Gayle set it up for me to be on Oprah's show. It was a great episode. She came to my old house in Queens, met my grandmother, and walked around my old neighborhood with me. Eventually, we got to our relationship.
But instead of letting Taraji tell her truth, Gayle tried to downplay the moment and turn it into a joke. Fans instantly called it gaslighting, saying Gayle was clearly protecting Oprah.
Somebody went on and something went viral where they're analyzing us on top of the Empire State. We were cold.
Oprah said you were cold.
We were cold. It was cold.
Yeah, there's a whole
thing we had done that day.
Yes.
That was the fourth thing we had done that day. First of all, I just want to say that from the beginning, when I got the first phone call that they were being asked to rent cars because they were in the middle of rehearsal.
Well, I asked for my own car because I like to drive myself. I'm a Southern woman.
So I heard that Taraji was upset because she'd been asked to do a rental car. I personally called Toby Emmerich, who was at the time the head of Warner Brothers, and he said, "Well, that means we have to do cars for everybody." Then I said, "Then we do cars for everybody." and if it's necessary, I will pay for the cars myself. He goes, well, we don't want you to do that. So, from that was one thing, trailers were another thing, food was another thing.
And everything got...
One of the biggest compliments, it happened to me just the other day coming through the airport. Two women said, Gail, this is my Oprah. And so they always say, I'm Oprah, I'm Gail, vice versa.
Yeah. I always
Don't you
get
hear
this
that,
is
dude?
my Gail. This is my Gail.
I always get, this is my Oprah.
Yeah.
I just think that's one of the biggest compliments anyway. I don't know of any other combo of women that people say that about.
Yeah, I was just someplace the other day and somebody said, this is my Gail too. This is my Gail. Yeah, and I understand what that means. That means long-term, standing in the gap, no matter what. I'm here for you, gonna tell you the truth. Even if you don't want to hear it. That's what that means.
During the interview, Gayle King brought up rumors she had heard about Taraji, thinking of quitting acting, and instead of offering support, she said it in a way that felt more like a scolding than a concern. Taraji responded with full honesty, explaining that she was exhausted from working so hard for decades and still being paid far less than she deserved.
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over.
Taraji P. Henson's brutally honest and emotional explanation of Hollywood's pay disparity is going viral.
I hear people go, you work a lot. Well, have to. The math ain't mathing. Big bills come with what we do. We don't do this alone. The fact that we're up, there's a whole entire team behind us. They have to get paid.
She talked about how she was tired of hearing the same complaints from other black actresses, tired of people telling her she worked a lot, and tired of pretending everything was fine when she knew she was being undervalued. Her voice cracked as she admitted that she had reached her limit, and you could hear how drained she was emotionally.
The work, people go, you work a lot. I too, because the math ain't math and the zeros ain't adding up, And so because you see somebody working a lot of times when it's us, it's because that one job is not gonna cover you for the year. I wish I could just do 2 films and be like, I'm kind of to that point now, you know what I mean? But there are actors out there that just one job a year because that's how they get paid. And I don't think people really understand the breakdown of the math. 50 Cent, if somebody goes, they made $10 million, right? You got to remember Uncle Sam is coming to take half of that off the top. Right. And then you have to pay your 30 or 40%, whatever you're paying your team off your gross. So you're not taking home $10 million. I know it sounds amazing, but you're not taking it home. Somebody gets paid $1 million for a film, they not seeing that $1 million in their bank account. Do the math.
Right in the middle of all that chaos, 50 Cent stepped into the situation again and publicly supported Taraji by posting the story and saying he was ready to work with her anytime. It felt like he was throwing her a lifeline in real time, reminding her she wasn't alone.
We're going to go over body language. Let's look at Oprah. You see how she looked at Taraji and quickly looks away. And now look at Taraji. Look at her legs. She locks it away from Oprah, looking up, fluttering her eye, trying to hold back tears. But she's trying to be professional, but she leans into Oprah. Oprah pulls away. Fake laugh. We all know that's fake. That's fine. But they're trying to release that negative energy outside their bodies. Oprah is all closed up. She's not even trying to open up and was closing in on Oprah. Oprah pulls out, trying to find an escape, goes right behind Gandhi Brooks. And look at Taraji's face. She's just like not having it. And notice how Oprah is suddenly now opened up with her arms. And look at Fantasia's face. Look at Taraji as if we're almost to the ending of this. Don't worry. Something definitely happened here. And now look at how Oprah has her arms and her hand.
What Taraji didn't realize at that moment was that she was walking the same path Monique had walked years earlier. And just as 50 Cent had warned, once Oprah has a problem with you, the uphill battle gets very real and very public. Monique has been calling out Oprah and Tyler Perry for years, and honestly, her story is one of the messiest Hollywood feuds to ever hit the internet. According to Monique, she was blackballed after refusing to do free promo for the movie Precious. She was only paid $50,000 for the entire film, and they expected her to fly herself out, pay for hotels, and do every press event using that same tiny check.
For Precious, which was an independent film, I received $50,000 for that movie. And I had a conversation with Tyler Perry. Sydney and I did separate times. And he said, Monique, because he was trying to explain to me why I should campaign for the Oscar and what it could do for my career. And he said, just the nomination alone, your next movie would be $3 to $5 million. Well, if you win it, it's $6 to $8 million. Well, I won it. And there's not been one offer that's come across from Hollywood of $6 to $8 million. There's not been an offer that's come across from Hollywood that's been $1 million. So when you start receiving the type of offers that say, well, that award means absolutely nothing, and we're getting it from somebody like Mr. Perry saying, this is what you will get if you just get nominated.
Monique said that was exploitation, not opportunity. In an interview, Monique did not hold back at all. She explained that she was never truly blackballed, but instead whiteballed by a certain black industry leader who, in her words, didn't have the backbone to stand up for what was right.
See, back in the day, when they had us in chains, they would beat one real good.
Right. But in front of the others.
In front of the others, and they let everybody know what you don't want is that type of ass whooping.
Right.
So what they said was, we're gonna beat Monique really good. We're gonna sit her down. And I made it public. Financially, my family took a hit. So when you see our sister go through that, and we act like our eyes didn't see what it saw when we watched that promotion happen with The Color Purple.
Right.
We wanted to act like we didn't see how Oprah Winfrey treated Taraji. In my humble opinion, when you saw her walk up, you saw that there was tension. You saw that there was something happening.
Right.
And then when you see Taraji write her a love letter, it's like, listen, we know you were mistreated. And then you turn around and say, oh, but Lady O handled it. I have a problem with that. Because that allows Lady O to keep on doing what she's doing, and we're in a position of, I don't want to say nothing because we saw how Monique got.
She went on to vent all the frustration she had been carrying for years, saying how people accused her of talking too much simply because she refused to stay silent about being underpaid and treated unfairly. Her tone made it clear she was done pretending. She basically said that if she had one, they could all go suck it, because she was tired of being disrespected, underpaid, and dismissed by the very people who should have supported her. And honestly, you can feel every year of that anger in her voice. What made the whole situation even more interesting was the fact that during Monique's lowest moment, the only major celebrity who publicly stood beside her was 50 Cent. While most of Hollywood kept quiet, 50 went online and hyped her up like she was family. He even talked about how he saw her stand-up show during Super Bowl weekend and how she had him completely captivated, basically telling everyone they needed to see her talent for themselves. Then he doubled down. He made another post, this time calling out Tyler Perry and Oprah directly, saying they needed to apologize to Monique because he was getting ready to help revive her career. In that clip, he made it clear he believed they had allowed their influence to harm her for far too long, and he wasn't going to let it continue. He reminded everyone that when he decides to back someone, he doesn't miss, and you could tell that he meant every word.
Monique, why is she canceled? And then I know Tyler wouldn't support that. He never told nobody not to work with her. When I talked to him, he was like, nah, I never told no one not to work with her. And I said, but you Tyler Perry, and you never told anyone to
work with her. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And he was like, I never looked at it like that. Because I said, you just got to consider how strong your influence is at that point.
But 50 didn't stop there. He came out with more receipts. Aside from calling out Oprah over how she treated Monique, he also exposed her rumored ties to Harvey Weinstein and the controversy surrounding her South African all-girls school. A lot of people don't know this, but Oprah and Harvey were extremely close back in the day. They walked red carpets together, supported each other's projects, and were seen as a Hollywood power duo just without the romance. But when Harvey's crimes came to light, Oprah suddenly said she knew nothing about what he had been doing. Meanwhile, there were claims that the women, including minors who were maltreated and essayed by Harvey, were also being used at the same parties Oprah was attending. Many people found it hard to believe she didn't notice anything while being that close to him. There was also a moment in an interview with her about Weinstein where Oprah made a statement about how everyone has a story and called the Harvey Weinstein situation a watershed moment. But instead of clearing anything up, the way she said it made a lot of people feel like she was trying to sound deep while quietly separating herself from the Harvey Weinstein scandal. Viewers felt the timing was a little too convenient. almost like she was trying to redirect the conversation without directly addressing her longtime connection to him. And honestly, the whole thing left people side-eyeing hard.
Let's talk about what's happening with Harvey Weinstein. I know you posted on Facebook already, but you haven't kind of spoken yet publicly about what's going on.
I think that this is, I'm always trying to look for the rainbow in the cloud, whatever is the silver lining. And this is what I do know for sure. When something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment. And what I do believe is actually happening is that, first of all, it's triggering a lot of unreleased pain, repressed anger.
Then there's Oprah's all-girls boarding school in South Africa, a place surrounded by rumors, scandals, and some genuinely disturbing stories. When the school first opened in 2007, the dorm matron, Virginia Tiny Makapo, was hit with 13 counts of maltreatment and inappropriate behavior towards 6 students. Reports claim she was touching the girls in ways that were completely unacceptable.
Immediately after hearing that allegation, removed the accused, Tiny Makapo, from the campus. I was, needless to say, devastated and really shaken to my core when I first heard this news. And immediately within the first hour of receiving this information, I contacted here in the United States Dr. Bruce Perry, who is founder of the Child Trauma Academy.
Oprah flew to South Africa to apologize and fired the headmistress on the spot. But many people felt she only did that because the scandal went public. And even though Oprah promised things would change, the allegations didn't stop. If anything, they only got worse.
And asset building for these girls. So every single girl's going to leave here with something greater to offer the world than her body.
By 2011, the situation turned even darker. One student secretly hid her pregnancy, gave birth alone, and the newborn's body was later found in her school bag. That incident sparked wild rumors about ritual practices and deeper problems inside the school, even though nothing was officially confirmed. There's even a clip floating around where someone says, "Something strange is going on with Oprah Winfrey's South African School for Girls. Go and look and see what happened to those girls." And honestly, that line alone gave the internet chills.
Something strange is going on with Oprah Winfrey's South African School for Girls.
Go look and see what happened to them girls.
But the drama didn't stop there. Back in 2009, 7 students were suspended for harassing and physically attacking their classmates. And as the years passed, new rumors began spreading online, claims that girls from the school had started disappearing. People online insisted several students went missing, though no official news reports ever backed that up. Still, the whispers lingered, and social media kept fueling the fire. Meanwhile, the internet had a lot to say. One person wrote, "Oprah was besties with Epstein. She's been to the island. The girls are probably being used. We need to do something about it," another person said. Oprah has been an issue for years. The black community has to stop supporting someone just because they're black. Character matters. Whether these takes were exaggerated or not, the suspicion around Oprah's school has never fully gone away. And now, thanks to 50 Cent, it's back in the spotlight again. And now the real question is, do you think 50 Cent is uncovering something Hollywood tried to hide? Or is the internet running wild again? Could Oprah actually be the next big name to face major fallout? Or are these rumors getting out of hand? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear everything. But before you go,
my level, up to Jay-Z's level, up to LeBron's level, not easy. It's not easy for me, for Jay, for Oprah. They still